My name is Corey Williams, and I am the president of Unity Life Group. And I am super, super excited for our guest to be on today. Brand new agent, Michelle Jones, coming to us from the lower part of St. Louis, if you will, down in Festus, and just off to an absolutely fantastic start. Young lady that was in the restaurant industry just a month ago and has come here and taken this thing by storm. So, really excited to talk to Michelle and hear her story. So, without further ado, we have Miss Michelle Jones. Hey, Michelle, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic. How was dinner?
Great. Super,
Good.
super good. Had
Yeah, I
some
know you were
good
talking about
pizza, some
that.
wings.
Yeah, I'll have to try that place next time I'm down there in Festus, right? That's where you're
Yeah.
at, Festus, right?
Yep.
So
Confess.
I'm gonna jump right into this thing. First of all, thanks for your time. I really appreciate it. I know you're out there running pretty hard, and you've been super coachable since you've been here. You've really kind of taken this thing by storm and really figuring it out. So I'm gonna ask you kind of the nuts and the bolts. You can be completely honest because I know there's good and bad to what we do.
Yep.
There's some funny things that happen as well. But you're battling through it, and the only thing you can do is just continue to get better because you're definitely in the activity. You're doing all the right things, and you're seeing the results of it. So, not no names of like the restaurant that you came from, but you were there. I guess you were there for a while, a steakhouse, and you've now transitioned to this. So, what made you transition from what you were doing to this?
Well, I've been there since the store opened. Actually, it's a newer one, and I've been there for a little over 3 years. I've been looking for something. I was just kind of tired of, first of all, it kind of hurt my back a little bit, carrying all those trays and everything. And I was looking for something just to level up more like career wise, where I can find myself like I can grow in something. So I applied for a bunch of jobs, and then I found Corey here and did a Zoom and just great conversation, and then here I am
Yeah.
somehow doing what I'm doing.
You're crushing it. And we don't have a lot of people come here and do well from the beginning, but it's the consistency. And we find out pretty quick within that first week or two if people really are going to do this and stick with it because it doesn't take long. What we
Mhm.
do is very, very simple, and I know you'll agree with it, but it's not necessarily easy because you're dealing with the general public, right? So, not to give all your stats and all this kind of stuff. So I don't know if you have all of them memorized like I do because I study the numbers, but you are in your fourth week with us, right?
Mhm.
You've written applications every week you've been here.
Yep.
I think so far this week it's Wednesday, and you've written an application every day this week. You almost had two today. And you've also had days where you've written multiple applications in a day. So, how have you done that coming in from the restaurant industry, transitioning, just getting your license, coming into our process and our system? How have you had success so quickly?
Well, based on my previous skills, I guess, at my other job
Mhm.
with serving and everything, I am like, it brought me out of my shell a lot. So that kind of helped a little bit coming into here. But either way, it's still nerve-wracking at first. And it's not like I know exactly what I'm doing with, like, doing this kind of work.
Mhm.
So, just it's really a mental thing. I say a lot, and just knowing that there's proof out there that this is possible and you can succeed in this and help families at the same time. So as long as you just keep telling yourself, just have some self motivation and all that kind of stuff, and just keep pushing, you're going to get there, and it's going to get easier, and you're going to see, oh wow, this is possible. So it makes it a little easier too. So you just have to keep pushing. That's what I'm
Yeah.
doing. So,
Yeah. And you were a former cross country runner at Hillsboro, right?
yep.
So, is there some cool? Because a lot of athletes, I'm a former athlete as well. A lot of athletes do well with this because we're used to getting knocked down and getting back up. Has there been some
Mhm.
translation from, or transition, if you will, from being an athlete to doing this? Because when we were going through training, one of the things I told you is I'm like, I can tell you've worked with seniors before. I can tell you know how to handle yourself. You got a little bit of a tough shell, tough cookie shell to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're going to do really well with this because of that. Can you speak to that? Like being a server and then being a former athlete, has any of that transitioned or translated to what we do here?
Well, obviously, like I said, with the server part, I did, our main audience was kind of like elderly people, honestly, around the age I already work with. So, but with cross country and high school, that is definitely, especially cross country, it's definitely like a perseverance kind of
You
thing.
versus you, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm coaching myself. I remember going back to high school days. I'm coaching myself like while I'm racing and everything, and like it's really like when you're running up that hill. Who it's really just. who has it in them like the longest, really.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's again, that whole thing is a mental thing. So that is kind of interesting you say that. I honestly didn't really think about that, but yeah, that was honestly my sport was even mental. Like
Yeah.
I it is a mental thing. Like obviously some skill and practice, just like now it takes practice and everything, but again, like you just have to be coachable. You just have to be determined.
Yeah. What's been the most rewarding thing about this? Because this is very simple what we do in reference to getting people qualified and all that kinds of stuff. What's been the most rewarding part about this so far? Because you've only been at it a month, but you've helped, I think, somewhere between 8 and 15 families already. What have you seen so far that's been the most rewarding?
Honestly, obviously this is a job at the end of the day too, like you're making your money or whatever, but it is also rewarding as well because walking away I've had people give me hugs. Many ladies give me hugs and they're like they're glad they sat down and talked with me, and you're literally helping families with this is like something serious, like like that they'll be able to have coverage and everything. Their family, won't be just like left stranded not knowing what to do when they pass. So it's also really rewarding, and also like when you're walking out it's rewarding, but also when you're in the homes, some people just really want the company too. You can tell they enjoy the company, so
Yeah.
it's good conversation too, so it's nice.
It gets to the point where it's relaxing, and the better you get, which you're already sharpening your skills, it really is just having a conversation and figuring out what their needs are.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're in and out in an hour, sometimes it's 2 3 hours or maybe even
Yeah.
longer. Yeah, it
Yeah.
happens, and sometimes you do get trapped in and those kind of things. So I know we're talking about the good stuff. I like being transparent on here. What is the part that sucks about what you're doing now, even though you've only been doing it a month?
Well, I will be honest, and people are tough sometimes, but I even got that at my last job. So like, some are tough because they think that you're there for not the reasons that you're actually there. Some people just don't give you a chance. That's tough. So that can be hard on your mental and kind of bring you down maybe. It happens definitely more so than often as well, but again, you just have to look past those. And once you keep doing this, obviously for a while, just like when I had the conversation with you the other day, it goes right down, right
That,
over your head. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and I mean I've been doing this for a long time, and I don't care who you are. I always tell people, for you to be successful, you have to take the stairs. I can't knock on that door for you. I can't take that person. You don't get yelled at by everybody, but that's the stuff that we focus on because it's easier to focus on that negative as opposed to
yeah.
the positive. You might go out and knock on 10 or 15, 20 doors, and you might have maybe one person that's nasty to you. And sometimes if your head's not straight, that's the one you focus on. So it's that mental warfare, if you will, that goes to your head.
Hmm.
You're a very young lady, and you've really gotten off to a great start. And I know I don't know if you can fathom this or not. Ben and I were talking about this earlier. I'm like, April's a 5 week month. You're going to write somewhere between 12 and 15 this month. In an extra week, you have an opportunity to really be able to write between 18 and 20K next month, which is pretty incredible. Does that has that clicked? Does that make sense to you that you have an opportunity to be able to do that?
Yeah, I think it would make more sense when it actually happens. It's sometimes even hard to imagine that I'm already almost at 10K in production this month, and this is my first month.
Mhm.
But I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and I mean, I'm always like talking to Ben or like someone over the phone and always like asking questions, which just keeps me going too, because I can tell once I'm like doing my presentations and like talking to people in homes that I am getting a little bit smoother and better with it. So,
And the
yeah.
better and smoother you get, the easier it gets, and it makes the people feel more comfortable as well.
Yeah.
So, talk about our training. You got your license, which that's fun, right? You got your
Yeah.
license, and then you came in for a 2 day training in classroom because I know a lot of our competitors don't necessarily train their people. Not picking on any of them; it's just what happens. So, talk about our 2 day classroom training after you got your license, and then what was your field training like?
Field training, I definitely was nervous at first going into that. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm not ready for me to do my own presentation." But watching Ben, and I feel like I am more of like uh, a visual learner, I guess it is, I think. Like, I guess when I'm just, like, sitting with him and watching him actually do it, it's a little bit more easier for me personally, because like, I get the feel of it a little bit, and it's a little less scary once I'm, like, going out on my own, but it definitely was really, really helpful. Not only obviously was just the in-classroom training, but the field training was helpful because he was obviously there to answer any questions or anything when I did start doing my own presentations on my own and everything, so it just kinda got me into, like, the comfortability, like, type of level, so
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So, have you been in a spot where, let's say, you're in a home and you had a question? Was there always somebody there where you could either pick up the phone and call? You call Ben. You can't get Ben. You call us. Can you walk us through that process? Because this is nerve wracking when you're in a home and you're like, okay, I'm not
Mhm.
sure what to do next. What do I do?
Well, that still happens to me all the time. I literally today, um, yeah, it's a learning progress. So definitely, I'm not scared to call as many times. I mean, you guys made that clear. Like, call as many times. Like, you guys are obviously wanting to help and wanting to make us, learn better from our mistakes or just to grow. Obviously, so
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to call and ask. Usually, if Ben doesn't answer, I call you and one of you guys answer. And if not, one will call back pretty much right away. So you
Yeah.
guys are always there to answer questions. So I definitely feel comfortable now to where if I do have a question, you guys are quick to answer. And it also makes whoever I'm talking to more like at ease too. Because, like you said on the phone that one time, like, they always know when we're like,
Yeah. I was about to bring
trying
that
to
up.
fake it till we make
Yeah.
it.
And it's funny,
So
you were
I
talking to
always,
that lady and she said, and you called and you
yeah,
opened the rate book, you showed her where it was. She said she saw it. She said she understood it. And I said, they know if we're faking it, or they know if
yeah,
we know what we're talking. And what did she say?
yeah.
Yes, we do.
He's like, yep,
So
we know.
we
I was like,
know.
okay, good thing I called.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's
Well,
what
I
we're
also
here.
want to make sure they're getting the right information too, and they really appreciate that every single time. I even say that too. I just want to make sure it's not that I don't like know what I'm doing. I just want to make sure, obviously, I still am a little new, that I'm giving you all the right information because I do care about that,
Yeah.
and then they really appreciate it. So,
Yeah, for sure. Again, I don't like talking about money that much on these, but writing 10K next month will put over $10,000 in your bank account next month. What does that mean to you?
jeez. It's nice. It's
Yeah.
better than where I used to work at. No
Yeah.
hate towards that place at all,
Yeah, for
obviously,
sure.
but this is also something I originally was looking for. Obviously, I'm getting to know the place and what it does for families and everything and how rewarding it actually is. But that is also definitely a plus. It's definitely nice to get paid literally the next day or so, 24 to 48 hours usually for the most part.
Yeah.
So that's also really nice. It's right away and it's nice to see some money in my bank account.
Yeah. So our process, you go out and you sit and you help Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, you get his bank account information. He pays today. You get paid the very next day, right? So
Mhm.
if you have to push it a day or two because of their financial situation, no big deal. But yeah, we're paid every day, Monday through Friday, i.e., some banking holidays and all that kind of stuff. So last couple of questions, Michelle, I wanted to ask you. And again, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. I like talking to new people that are having success because it gets me excited because I know what this career's done for me, and I know where you're going to be. And I know Ben's told you this. You're on a faster trajectory than he is when he started. You're doing better than he was. You've actually almost doubled what he's done his first month. And Ben writes 20, 25,000 a month. Hell, you guys' team is going to write 50,000 this month. And there's no telling, he might probably write another 55, 60,000 next month. So he's in line for his third promotion.
Yeah,
And
Ben goes crazy.
yeah, he
So it's
goes in.
hard to imagine that, but
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. And you're off to a better start than he was. So,
Yeah.
yeah, just because you're being coachable. So, if somebody was looking at this opportunity, what would you tell them?
Definitely go for it. It's definitely worth it. Personally, um this is better, like with the tests and everything, studying and like, just having that perseverance even for the tests. It is kind of like, you got to work at it. But that's with anything. I was even talking to Ben the other day that going to college for such a long time and putting in all that, school debt and everything like that, when really the test is just like, well, for Missouri, what, $100 or something like that to get your license. And it's you make great money if you're training and you're coachable and you take your tests and take the time. Then honestly, I think it's completely worth it rather than going to school maybe and having all that debt once again and
Yeah.
really making the same amount of money.
Absolutely, if not more. And the bigger part about that is the residual income piece, right? So you haven't even gotten to that point yet because you haven't even hit your second month.
Yeah.
All those families that you help, they're going to continue to pay. So as they continue to pay, you make your residual income. Let's see, you're what, 20, 21, whatever you are. Let's say 60, 70 years from now, you pass away. And unfortunately, you pass away from before your spouse. You're still here. All of that money, all of those clients that are in the books are going to continue to pay your family until all of your clients pass away or they stop coverage. So you're not just building for a great income today, you have your renewal. And you're going to write somewhere between, in your first year, probably somewhere between 100 and 125 applications. Next year, if all of those clients are paying you $10 a piece, that's $1,200 of residual income. Well, let's say you get better. Ben's on pace to do 100 more applications this year than he did last year. Think about that. And he did 152 applications last year. So if each one of those people is paying him $10, that's 1,500, which his residual is better than that. But as it continues to grow, your skills get better. You'll close more. You have to work. You can work a lot less and make a lot more money. So
Yep.
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for answering that question. I appreciate it. So I know you work in a couple different spots. I know you've run out in Winsville a little bit when you're first getting started, but you're primarily now down in your area, down in Festus for the most part.
Mhm.
If somebody's looking for coverage and they're looking for help to make sure their family's protected when they pass away, how do they get a hold of you?
If they're looking for coverage, I'm sorry, repeat.
Well, if somebody's looking to get a hold of you because they're wanting to get life, they see this and they want to get life insurance or final expense, how do they?
Oh, uh, my number really.
Yeah.
Usually I have my business cards, obviously my email and my phone numbers on there.
Okay.
A lot of people just call me,
Okay.
so I always answer with a call or a text, and I still stay in touch with my clients I already have. They call, text me, and I'm pretty quick to respond too. So,
And they can get you at 636-331-8508. That's the best number to
yep,
get you.
yep.
Michelle, thank you for your time. You're off to an absolutely fantastic start. Excuse me. And I don't know if you're paying attention to Agent of the Month, but you've already qualified for your first newsletter, which is over $8,000. You've already done that in your first 3 to 4 weeks, which is crazy. You're in the second spot for Agent of the Month, which you've already qualified for that because you're over $8,000. And I think you're only like 3 points behind Mike. And I think you're going to be,
Oh, really?
you might pass it tonight. So congratulations to you. You're off to an amazing start. Keep up the great work. It's a blessing to call you a teammate, business partner, and just keep going. Just keep being coachable. Keep moving forward. We appreciate everything you're doing.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Bye for now. Thanks.